The good thing about the shrimp, if you're tying it, is that you don't have to go to these kind of saddles, which are probably unavailable now, or if they are available, probably to the tune of
It doesn't help your business.
Or
Well, they're expensive now.
yes.
And they're hard to find too.
So we can turn around and we can purchase some strong hackle, which are easily available and reasonably priced still. And we're going to put a tail on this guy. And dissimilar to a lot of the shrimp patterns, we tend to keep the tail short because the rainbows tend to strike short. If you put a GP tail and you put feelers out and the rest of it that we tend to put on other shrimp patterns, you'll get a lot of pulls on that front end as opposed to getting into the bite of the hook. So when you look at these patterns for fishing, you're going to see where designed in them that's all taken away so that, you know, you can get them right in there. So once we get the tail in, we're going to put a shellback on, and a lot of times the shellback is put on as the last thing, but we find that if we put it down as the last thing, every cast it travels back and forth in the wind because the front end is sitting over and it snaps or shatters after a while. So this way here it holds its position much better. The next thing we want to put on is a set of eyes. One of the things about a shrimp is that if you're seeing a shrimp in an aquarium, one of the things about a shrimp is he has prominent black eyes. So you've got to make sure that you've got
segmentation in the body. Your small
and you really want to lash that down good, because again, in the casting process, if them eyes aren't secured really well, they start twisting, and because they're steel bead, they'll crank the fly on its side, etc. So we not only put 20 wraps of thread on, we're actually going to crazy glue it in position too. Because we don't want it to move. That's
so when I do over the top,
now you're getting my good side, are you?
Yes.
Now we've got 20 wraps of thread in there, and we've got that secured with crazy glue. If we give that a little drying time, that thing is never going to move again. The material will get worn off, etc., and them eyes would still have that same position. Now we're going to use chenille for the head to wrap on them eyes, and we want to use the chenille because we want to pronounce the head as larger. A shrimp has a large head portion.
The orange is attract the fish? It's not a natural thing.
Well, I should have asked her earlier.
So now we really you can pull these back.
When you see the fly coming together, you see that the head is rather large and out of proportion, but that's the way a shrimp is, right? He's large on that end. So now the next thing is he has a lot of things going on in that front section, so we really want to add a beard to him, or his mouth parts. If you have actually looked at a real one, you'd see that he has a lot of this stuff going on. So now we will use one of these very, very expensive. It's been a long time since I used any of these things. But they're not mine, so we'll use one. We're going to put on the legs now.
It doesn't matter if you get the eye, that's when you're fishing, all you have to do is just focus on the meat and going to the last thing, picture that.
Then we're going to put a rib on because we have to tie down the shell back when we're all done, right?
Very simple.
Now we're going to tie on the body.
Kind of make the leg here. Pull it down, right? This body material right here is a little delicate, so what we can do is add some into that, just so it doesn't fall off or rip off.
And you see, we're still trying to do that little bit of a taper from that head down. We want it a little larger in that front section. Now we're going to run that. We're going to run the legs through.
Oh, okay.
It's a hot spot, it's called, to attract the fish. So it's the same as that.
It doesn't have to be this quality of hackle. You can use it longer, and if you'll notice, a lot of these are left longer because we feel that maybe there's a little bit of movement. If you've seen shrimp in an aquarium, them guys never stop. It looks like he's got a million of the legs. Now we're ready to bring the shell back over, and when we put the shell back on, we're going to really pronounce those legs even better. So we're going to give them a little haircut beforehand, because we don't want them legs sitting out at the side. We really want them underneath. And then we just flip this over, give us one little wrap here. Right? Now we're going to come with the rib, because in the real shrimp, he is well defined as far as the rib and the shellback is concerned, right? So if you'll notice, we'll try and make them indentations.
Rainbow trout? That would be really good on that. Any place red rainbows, that would be good. The legs and the screen, the big river. When that gets wet, it's going to flash really well. That orange leaf really sets it off.
And let me say something about the color of the thread. The thread is like a hot pink, and that comes from my commercial tying, because that's what the customer demands. That pink head, if you'll look, you'll not see one of my shrimp without that hot pink head. And if I put 100 of them up there, and only 4 or 5 of them got the pink head, and the others, let's say, an orange head, they want that pink head.
All right.
What the sense of that is, I don't know. It doesn't go along with the orange theme, but then again, if you look into the natural shrimp that we're dealing with down there, you can't find an orange shrimp, can't find a pink shrimp, so maybe none of it makes sense to us. But for sure, if you're tying commercially, if you're tying commercially, the customer's never wrong, is it? We know that.
Very nice.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Very effective fly. Anywhere in the salt water, or if you're in the bottom of the river in what we would term estuary water around Nova Scotia, where we got the mix. It is a very, very effective.
So it wouldn't be...
I actually, for the first time, and we did a show with Steve Clapperton on Eastling, Fishing with Friends in the Bedore Lakes, where we tied this fly. And I've gotten calls from Halifax and PEI, etc. And everywhere where these guys get a dozen of these flies, and they're fishing in that bay or cove or brackish water, they'll be back the next winter making